Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. Welcome back to the T0 to T6 Abyss series. We've actually made some decent progression in terms of our skills, quite a bit of progress actually, both when it comes to our DPS and tank. Mainly DPS though, because I finished training the Surgical Strike skill to level 5. So we've pretty much got maxed out gunnery DPS skills. You can see here, rapid firing, gunnery and Surgical Strike, all level 5. So we've got some sick DPS here with our Retribution. We're still not at the skill point level for the Zealot, unfortunately. It takes quite a bit of time to train, but we've got quite a bit of skills left to train. I think it's going to be around here. Energy grid upgrades is when we're going to have the skills to be able to train for the Zealot, and then we're also going to have to train our Cruiser to level 5 as well, so that's going to be another skill that's going to need to be trained. Right now I'm just training like the support skills needed for the Zealot, because the Zealot has like support skills it needs, and the reason I'm doing that is because in the meantime it'll at least affect my Retribution in some way or another, because if I'm just going to train the Amar Cruiser and those skills now when I can't even use it, I feel like it's a bit of a waste of skill points because it won't affect my Retribution in any way possible. We can see here we need all these skills right here. Got the weapon upgrades, I think we've got energy grid upgrades as well there, so it's got a bit of time, 40 days, but we'll get there eventually. And we'll have some pretty decent skills in other departments as well by the time we've got there as well. And it'll also give us plenty of time to grind the ISK to be able to buy it, because it is a bit of an expensive build. Even though it's cheap ship for Abyss, when you're starting out from the ground zero, it takes quite a bit of time to get that, like Tech 2 Cruise or Faction Cruiser. But Tech 2 Cruise is actually quite a bit cheaper than Faction Cruise, but still it takes quite a bit of time compared to getting like a frigate, for example, that we've got right now. And considering our skills being pretty decent, I've trained, when it comes to tank skills, I've been training the armor compensation skills, so we've got them actually trained to quite a bit of a big degree, because it's been I think it's level 4 that was trained. Let's see now, armor compensation, yeah, got level 4 in thermal and EM, which are pretty much the most important ones when it comes to the electrical Abyss, especially for frigate. But I feel like we might soon be able to actually do the T2s pretty reliably, because we've got some decent DPS. And if we look here, we can see the DPS with Multifrequency is 296. This is decent. And then we'll put Gleam, 300 DPS. Oof. And if we go in that pulse laser retribution I was talking about before, which could be used to blitz the T1s, we have almost good. Well, we'll get 400 DPS when we train the small pulse laser specialization skills, because we've not trained them actually. And then considering the tank I've got is getting quite beefy, I think we might even be able to do the T2 electrics actually. One thing I would like to train if I wanted to do T2 electrics seriously in the Retribution is to train this high-speed maneuvering skill. And I think, where is it now? Acceleration control could be good, because we need to get like decent speed. Because we get good speed is important when you're going in the frigate Abyss. For now, we're going to be doing a bit more T1s. We can just farm away, and I would want to get that that Project Discovery up and running. Actually, we've actually made some decent progress to be able to get the pacifier, the little frigate. There is a reward. Let me just get this first slide done, because I always have to do that first slide before I can press enter. Okay, see here. We've got the level 50 reward being a pacifier blueprint, and that'll instantly give us, or not instantly, but it takes a few hours. We'll get 150 million ISK, I think. It's a pretty expensive frigate. So on the way there, we'll also get lots of rewards from these ISK rewards right here. So it's definitely something that is going to be pretty profitable eventually when we get the high level. Alright, so let's just jump into the Abyss. One thing actually that I've got right here is this 150,000 skill points that I got from these login rewards. So I'm going to just quickly activate this to just see how that affects our resist right here. Let's see now. Kinetic 69 and explosive 84. Made no difference. Made no difference at all actually. Did it really make no difference? Yeah, it made no difference. Okay. But it at least made a difference here, because it would have otherwise been minus 16.6 on just thermal and EM. Now that we got both the explosive and kinetic train, we got minus 16.6. But okay, that hardly made any difference. Made like a little percentage point that was just rounded off to not be enough. Okay, we'll form a fleet. That was a bit strange right there, but I think that the difference in the resist is so small that it just rounds it off. Okay, activate filament, calm electric abyss. Go here. Open up this filament. Let's go. Lucid Deep Watcher. Okay. Tachyon Cloud as well. I wonder how long it will take to get that zealot. It will. My guess is it will take about. Let me think. I'm just thinking like that. On average, you get 5.5 million per run. We need about 200 million ISK to be able to get the zealot. So that'll be like about 40 runs. Would it be? Yeah, 40 runs. We have to also take into consideration you can get the rare loot drops. And that's also something. Then you also have to take into consideration stuff like product discovery as well. That's going to also increase the loot as well. It's not going to be just 5.5 million, it'll maybe be something else. And then when we do get that, the pacifier, that'll be like provide a significant bump. It'll like make it so that we just have our ISK, or the ISK goal to get the zealot will be just there almost straight away. So I think it might. Okay, if I were to just get the bog standard average ISK per run. Oh, we need to just get a bit closer. 1 second. Reduce our speed. If we were to get the bog standard average ISK per run, it'll take about 40 runs. But I think if you take into consideration product discovery and the like rare drops we can get, because we've got previously got like a rare mutaplasmid that was worth I think 30 million ISK, then I think that it'll probably take somewhere in the ballpark of 20 runs. That's my guess, at least. Especially with the product discovery reward. Like, if we're good at that, it'll hardly take any runs, actually. Because we almost, if we get the pacifier blueprint straight away, or like I say, if we were to get it now, we almost have enough money to just get the zealots straight off the bat. And then also another factor is if we start doing T2 Abyss, then it'll also make it go up a bit. I mean, T2 Abyss is not so much more profitable than T1 if you account the time of the side completion, but it's still quite a bit more profitable, especially the increased likelihood of getting the red drops really bumps up the profitability along. Like the increased likelihood of getting some good filaments, and then also the mutaplasmids as well. And another one is the extraction nodes, as we saw before. That when we did the extraction nodes before, I made a previous video on that. They were quite a bit better in the T2 than the T1. T1 just hardly gives anything. The time it takes to go to the extraction nodes is barely even not even really worth it. It just may as well do more sites. But the small time it took in the T2s felt like it was actually sometimes worth it. You could sometimes get like 30 million ISK drops. Not 30 million, 1 million ISK drops. And that felt like, okay, that's decent. That's almost like one biocommutative cache, a bit less than one biocommutative cache. And sometimes you can get multiple of them as well. And biocommutative cache of a T1, that is not T2. Blasted Lucid Deep Watcher. Now, I know it might be a bit frustrating that, why are you not doing more T2s? Because T2s would be really great to do. And I just feel like it's possible. I mean, it is possible. The thing is, our point in our character's lifespan, we've not got a big reserve of ISK. We can replace this ship, but it's going to really set us back a lot. And we're trying to get that zealot, really. That's where everything is, or like the big goal is. So putting us back a lot from some potential increased profit, which is not so big. It is a bit more profitable to do the T2s, but it's not so much higher. So I think that it will just be a bit of a risky situation. Okay, let's see now. We've got the Devoted Knight right here. He's a pretty difficult one. Need to get close. Need to get close. Need to get close. He has a lot of damage. We should actually be shooting already, actually. Not just AFKing with our guns. We should be orbiting at 10 kilometers, I think it was. 10 kilometers. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Get close. Oh, we've got... The speed is low, that's why we're still going really bad. Come on, come on, come on. Overheat a little bit. Okay, now we're going to use Imperial Navy Multifrequency. And go. And stop overheating. Great. Did we take a lot of heat damage? Only a little bit, it's alright. And we're taking some neuting damage as well. But I think we can actually, when we get to full HP, we can chill a little bit with the dual armor pairs to save a bit of capacitor, because we'll be able to out track his or speed tank his weapons. So we won't need to use that much capacitor. I mean, he does neut, but see here, where's optimal? 11 kilometers. Might be a bit better to be a bit closer. I thought that we had a longer range than this, actually. I thought our optimal was 14. Have we got some booster? No. But we are getting some hit shots, so that's good to see. We're orbiting at 10. Could we orbit at 7.5? I think it'll be a bit risky to orbit at 7.5. We'll try to do that just to increase DPS just slightly. Neuting goes up. You see that? Neuting gets increased the closer you are. Popped. It's great that we're in the electrical side, so the neuting is not playing as big of a role. Yeah, that was silly of me. I set the speed low for the Lucid Deep Watch just to be able to use Gleam properly. Like, be able to not go like a little mosquito and out-track myself. But here it's just... forgetting that can be a bit fatal, actually, because you need to get close to that Devoted Knight to out-track him. You can also kite him. I've not tried doing that, but I prefer to be closer because he'll just die a lot quicker. And he can still hit you if you're far away. It's just a little bit less likely. The Retribution doesn't have so good range with Aurora that you can completely remove all damage. I feel it's just overall more reliable to go with the close range brawling, because you're anyway gonna you're also gonna take a little damage, but a lot less because you're orbiting so close. Transversals are gonna be good, and then you're also on the other hand doing a lot more damage than Aurora. Aurora does hardly any damage, and we got Tachyon Cloud over here, which we need to get out of range quickly because I do not have the energy to spend on getting flung out of the arena. I have to really panic train's trajectory. Or look at that guy, he's going so fast. Okay, we'll stop here. Stop here. Stop here. Stop here. Well, you standard. Standard. There we go. Standard. I just need to be a little bit... Oh, this Tachyon Cloud really... These are such disgusting Tachyon Clouds that are out, that cover the whole arena. And you can't even make out where they have their borders just because of them being... It's like I should perhaps be in the Tachyon Cloud, but I've not got Tachyon Cloud effect. Then we'll sometimes see that, oh, maybe I'm not in the Tachyon Cloud range, and then I am being affected by it, or it doesn't look apparent that I'm in the Tachyon Cloud. And now he's completely out of range. Like, I would want to get close, but these guys, they seem to be approaching the barrier, or like being a bit closer to the barrier of the arena. I just want to be a bit careful, because the Tachyon Clouds are really deadly for frigates. Really deadly. Because they're so fast, so they go out. The Tachyon Clouds, they do more damage. Not the Tachyon Clouds, the like when you go out of the boundary box and you take damage, you take more damage the further you are away. A frigate is going very fast. Oof, nice drop. A frigate is going very fast, so they're going to naturally get further away from the boundary box a lot quicker than a cruiser would. So they'll be by default taking more damage. And then also frigates, they have less tank than cruisers, so by default they're going to be tanking less. So really, Tachyon Clouds are just death sentences for frigates if you're not careful. Popped. Okay, that was a nice drop right there. Raging Electrical. This is the best filament of T4s you can get when it comes to profitability, at least. 7.3 million right there. Dankis is what I can say. So like these kind of filaments, these good filaments, you can get them a lot more frequently in the T2s. And like I find that when you go up a filament level, you get like another level's filaments more likely. So like, say I'm getting a lot of T1s, T2s, T3s, rarely T4s. Instead, if I do T2s, I feel like it'll be more common that I get T2 filaments, T3 filaments, sometimes T4s, and rarely T5s. The same way I'm rarely getting T4s here. And T5 electric, that is worth 25 million, I think. So you can get some really nice hits from that. Okay, we'll go here with Calm Electric. Let's just check my ammunition, actually. 43%. Okay, because I've never had to change my ammunition. This is a great thing about Amarian frigates. They have got so good ammunition durability. So you can get so much usage out of their ammunition and never have to replace it. It's a bit different, though, with beams, because beams, generally speaking, use less durability than pulses. The pulses have a really high fire rate, and you'll notice their ammunition durability will go down a lot quicker than the beams. So we are going a little bit of a environmentally friendly beam laser style right here. Okay, go to the Triglavian Bioactivative Cache, land on volley, popped. A lot easier to land those one-shot volleys of the Bioactivative Cache now that we've got better skills, because before sometimes it happens if I get a little bit of a grazing shot or something on the Bioactivative Cache, it has to two-shot it. does almost a full damage, but doesn't quite get there. Now that we've got the surgical strike trained, it increases just damage straight up, just increases the damage we do, so our volleys are going to be bigger than they were before. Get this Vila. Take out the Vila. We've still got some skills to train that are support skills, but not the DPS ones. We've got the like optimal range ones, I believe. They're not fully trained, so we can go here. Motion prediction improves tracking. The sharpshooter improves range. Trajectory analysis improves fall off. So these will be good. Are we training? Where are we training trajectory analysis? Right here. Okay. Level 4. Eventually we'll get there, and we'll get some decent range, because that's the main thing I'm noticing now. The difference of my Retribution right here compared to my main character who's got max skills is that I have lower range, and I could increase my range as well again by going with the Assault Frigates level 5, but the 13-day skill training I feel like could be just used on skills dedicated to the Zealot instead. It'll be a better investment, because I'm anyway going to be using the Zealot in the long run. Approach the Ephialtes Lancer right here. Keep a range 10 kilometers. Got some Lucid Aegis as well. That all die super fast. Like, look at that damage. We just shred these guys to pieces. I remember it didn't feel so long ago when I was in a Punisher, struggling to just take out one of these guys, or taking a really long time just seeing myself just take out Ephialtes as quick as I did right there. Feels really satisfying. Just feels the progression we've made. Just feels so good. Okay, take out Lucid Aegis right here. She dies so quickly as well. I think the Assault Frigates level 5, did they give... Let's see now where the traits. Damage and optimal range. So we'll get even more damage as well if we were to train for Assault Frigates level 5. It's very enticing to get Assault Frigates level 5. But I think in the long run it'll be better to just go with the Zealot skills. Damavix, super easy. Go here, Aurora, and a volley right here. Popped. And pop these Damavix as well. And go with the standard. And we completely forgot about Project Discovery after my encounter with that that Devoted Knight right there, because it was a bit intense. Just, oh no, I'm not going to think about this Project Discovery while I'm half getting killed. I think I did face Sancho Wave in T2 Electric, and it was quite difficult with the Retribution, but I managed to pull through. And there was a similar strategy I pulled, like I can't remember exactly, but it was a similar strategy to what I did there. I was like getting close, sort of flying really fast, able to avoid a lot of damage, and just kiting them. And I think I took out the frigates first. That's what I did. So they can sometimes have associated frigates in the T2s, or you could have 2 Devoted Knight cruisers. And you just take out the associated frigates first, because they got like Deadly Ewar that can have the cruiser apply better, because really all the DPS is in that cruiser, Devoted Knight cruiser, the Sancho cruiser. The thing is that is amplified a lot by the frigates, and when I say that a lot of DPS is in the cruiser, I don't mean that the Sancho frigates, they don't do any damage either. In fact, Devoted Hunter, one of the frigates of the Sancho, he actually does. He's one of the highest DPS frigates you can face in the Abyss. And the reason why I don't worry about him as much as the cruiser is because, unlike the cruiser, you can actually it's a lot easier to keep range from the frigate and just keep out of his range, because the frigate has a very tiny range. So we'll go here and activate another electrical filament. Let's go. Activate filament. Aurora. Okay, these are spark needles. So this is like an example of why I was saying before that the Sancho frigates are easy, and they work in a similar way these spark needles do. These spark needles right here, they will actually do quite a bit of damage if they get on top of me, but if I just keep range, it's really alright. I can just hold down Q here and sort of keep range like this. And actually, our tank is probably so good now that we're able to just face tank these guys. We can just take out a few, and then we should be able to just jump straight in and just wreck them real hard. We just keep range like this and take him out. We will take probably initially a lot of damage. Oof, look at that speed. I can't really do this with the Devoted Hunter or like the Sancho Frigate wave, because the Sancho Frigates, they take a lot longer to take out than these guys. Like these guys, oof, look at that, they're just dying so quickly. There's like basically no time for frigate right here. But it'll be a different story when you're facing Sancho Frigates. I think they do the similar amount of DPS, but they've got quite a bit more tank. We'll go for the Biochemical Cache over here. Aurora. And it would be fun to do dual Retributions in T3s. That would be something fun as well. You could always do that if you ever have a friend and you're doing Retribution style Abyss. Try using it in T3s, you get really great ISK in T3s. And the filament prices of T3 filaments, electrics, the ones that are good for the Retribution, they've gone down quite a bit in price. Or at least last time I checked. I don't know if it's still the case, but well, only for like 1 million, so if you multiply that by 3, because you use 3 in frigate size, 3 million per run, and you get quite a bit of ISK. I think that's a pretty decent deal right there. Use the Aurora, popped, and then we go for this anchoring over here, and there's a Tachyon Cloud, a massive Tachyon Cloud. Okay, sense adapt or something. I couldn't shoot him. No, it was just that they were out of range. Move towards Biochemical Cache. And keep range like this. This is what I was meaning, right? You see, we have these T4 filaments. These kind of rare drops here boost up the speed a lot to getting the Zealot eventually. You can have like an average ISK per run, but then you can sometimes get those really fat ISK drops that can just boost up the speed of everything. And if you're lucky enough, it can be so big that you can just almost get your goal straight away. I remember a long time ago when I used to do a T3, T4 Abyss in a Gila cruiser, then I would have certain goals to do. I think it would be, for example, to get my Plex. I remember that was a big one. Another one was to get implants for my ship, and not expensive implants, just probably 3 implants, like 3% implants that were there just to boost my shielding, because I was a big advocate of the passive Gila back in the day. I still think the passive Gila can be very good, but I prefer a lot more the active one, just because it's overall performs in most cases in high tier Abyss better, with the exception of gamma sites. I had always these like goals. Okay, I'm gonna get this implant, this, and so it's really nice to see when you get those really good loot drops, because you can get in higher tier, I think it's T3 and up, or T4 and up, can't remember which one, get the specialization skill books for disintegrator specializations, and they used to back in the day go for such a pretty penny. You could get large disintegrator specialization or medium. I can't remember which one was the most, but one of them at least, I think it was the large, at one point in the beginning when they were recently released. Like the disintegrator specialization is a skill book you use Tech 2 entropic disintegrators, the Triglavian weapon systems. So those skill books can drop from Abyss. It's a rare drop, and I would sometimes get, I remember once, I think it was large disintegrator specialization, and I got 700 million ISK drop, like just like that, 700 million ISK. So seeing those things just made me, okay, I can buy all my implants and have plenty to even spare. It was really great to see. Okay, let's see, I've got Charybdis over here, moved to the side. So what I'm saying is that if we get those kind of drops here, it'll be just great. They'll be perfect. So we can just get the Zealot, move up to the next tier of Abyss, which will be T3s. And we should be able to do pretty decently there, because we've got pretty good armor repair skills. We've got level, I think we've got repair systems level 5, haven't we? Armor, repair systems. Oh, we've got no repair systems level 4. Okay, where is our repair systems? Right, yeah, we've got to train here. It's going to be trained here. We've got that there. Then we've got the armor compensation skills, the EM, and the resist skills right here. To be honest, instead of training those resist skills, those armor compensation, it would be better that I went with the repair systems, because this gives a 5% straight up bonus to repair rate. But it's alright, it's alright. We've got decent skills, we've got good DPS, and it should be pretty straightforward when we go into with the Zealot into the Abyss. Can maybe just a bit of warm up, go with the T2s, but to be honest, I think we'll just be able to go to the T3 straight away. And it will be about the same amount of ISK as the T2 electrics, unfortunately, and that'll feel very anticlimactic. Oh, what? Why are you spending all this time to get the Zealot? Just to do T3 Abyss, which will anyway give you the same amount of ISK, or similar amount of ISK as the T2s. The reason is because it'll be a sort of a building block, and I think that, well, I'm pretty sure the T3 Abyss in the Zealot will be a lot more reliable or a lot more chill than the T2 Abyss in the Retribution. I'm not saying you can't do T2 Abyss chill, I'm just saying when you're doing these extensive farming to be able to get to the next tier of Abyss, I prefer if it's a bit more chill, so it's a bit more reliable, so we can sort of do it in the long run rather than the short term profit and then eventually die and just set us back like many hours of, or maybe not hours, but like a few hours of progress. I prefer it to be a bit more chill in that regard. So we'll get similar ISK to the T2s, but then also you have to take into consideration is that the T3s, generally speaking, when you go up, I've mentioned this before, but when you go up the filament levels, you get more likelihood of getting the rare drops. The rare drops in the T3s are going to be better than the T2s. So that's also going to be a great thing. We'll get these good filaments a lot more likely. Like these really great drops. So that's something that I look forward to getting in the T3s. Okay, so we've done our 3 T1 sites. We'll get our loot, sell it, see how much we got from this session right here. Oh, 22 million. Decent. Move this into the filament box right here. Or the item hanger box. Didn't I move it here? Where is everything? Item hanger, okay. And we will sell all these beauties, these abyss beauties. 90 a minute ISK. Okay, so we got ripped off a bit. And something actually someone was telling me to do is train a skill called accounting, I think it was, because that makes it so that we get less tax when we're selling stuff at the trade hub. So we're going to check that out. Actually, you can see here, trade will show all skills. Accounting, I think so. Proficiency at squaring away the odds and ends of business transactions, keeping the checkbox tight. Each level skill reduces sales tax by 11%. Okay, well, this is probably something we want to buy. 5 million. See how much does it go for in Jita? 5.3 million. We'll get this. 5.3 million. And inject this. And we'll train some levels. Maybe it has some requirements. Let's see now. Requirements, trade 4. Okay, so it has got some requirements right there. You can add these. Trade to level 4, and then we'll get some nice tax cuts right here just to make it so that we can get some really good profit up at level 4, maybe down the line here somewhere. Okay, so that's enough for now. T1 farming in the Retribution. We're getting quite a beast of a ship right here with 300 DPS. Hopefully the Zealot will be giving us as good profit and even better. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.